Showtime, Shawn Porter, Adrien Broner. Look, this fight is coming up June 20th. The MGM Grand, when the last fight that took place there, for most people, was not fan friendly. But for the real fans who understand and don't follow boxing just on Mega Fight Night, the real, solid, true boxing fans, those who are true to the game, Monday through Sunday, well, that fight was a classic due to the fact that it brought numbers to epic proportions, and it's not just about the numbers when it comes down to fights for the true fight diehard fans. I mean, those who talk boxing, those who live boxing, those who breathe boxing every single day of their lives. First of all, before I get into this topic with Shawn Porter and Adrien the Problem Broner, which that name is befitting for some reason, and I'll get into it in a couple of minutes into the show. My name is Eric Bradley, aka The Fight Doctor, in the world of boxing. And I thank you guys for watching, and right now you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down, round by round. So, first and foremost, the matchup. I do a physical matchup where I demonstrate who's going to be in the best position to win the fight when it comes down to conditioning, when it comes down to mental fortitude, when it comes down to intestinal fortitude, when it comes down to living, breathing, identifying what it takes to be a champion. I break that down, and it's a great segment, so be sure to look for that later on this week. We'll say Thursday, just to be safe, because you need to see that matchup prior to this fight. And if you're going to bet, and if you're going to lean towards one of the fighters, and you need to know all the details, that's what I do. I break it down. I only give facts. I'm not biased when it comes down to it. I mean, sometimes I like a fighter, but I do tell the truth. I don't play the game that way. Like I said, it was a coach, and coaches have to understand how to play the middle, just like the announcers on television. You know, they may play basketball or football, whatever, so be it. They have to find a way to play the middle ground regardless if you do like someone or not. So that's what I bring, making sure that everybody's playing with it on an even playing field, and that you have all the facts that are necessary to judge the fight. So the information that I have right now to lay in front of you is what's going to be compelling in this fight. And when you think of Adrien Broner, you think of a talented kid, someone who can truly take boxing just on his, the character that he uses or utilizes to gain fame. That can bring numbers, and numbers aren't always great, but when it's all said and done, he can fight. And when you look at a pure athlete, there's somebody in your neighborhood that you grew up with that had a lot of talent, but they may not have made it to the top. That's sort of the story with Adrien Broner, but flip it. He had talent, but he made it. But the thing about that is, with the talent you have, you can make it to become known, and you can make it to titles. But becoming legendary and becoming one of the guys that goes down in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest to ever done it. When you talk about the likes of Pernell Whitaker, when you talk about Salvador Sanchez, who had an early career, his life was taken, but what he did while he had the opportunity. It's just like when rappers compare, people that are doing it for longevity like Jay-Z with people who did it for a very short time like Biggie. Biggie did it so impactfully that you have to mention him amongst the best to ever have done it in the rap game, even though his stint was extremely short because his life was taken. You look at Adrien Broner, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's video floating around of him in a strip club swinging and popping bottles. Shawn Porter is a real fighter. Shawn Porter is one of the top fighters in the game. The thing about Shawn Porter is he was a pugilist boxer, because sometimes when guys are short like that in stature with athleticism, they learn to box, and they learn to box well. So they bring an amateur-like style into the professional ranks. And when you see his style, it reminds you of an amateur. That's what he used to box like. But once he started taking pages out of Timothy Bradley's book, because that's what he did when he saw that Timothy Bradley fought Devin Alexander with a very mauling style. So when Shawn Porter fought Devin Alexander, which he had already fought Devin Alexander in the amateurs and had lost to him, but he promised that this would be a different story, and he proved that it would be a different story. He used the bullying tactics to actually steamroll. I mean, he literally steamrolled Devin Alexander with that pit bull style. And I think he fell in love with the style, so he had taken a page out of Timothy Bradley's book because that's what Timothy Bradley did when he fought Devin Alexander. This worked. So he kind of made that his style, because prior to that he was fighting Julio Diaz. He was boxing more, moving heads, slipping, pivoting, spinning, stepping. He was doing all the things that you do in the amateurs, which is why amateur boxing is more tantalizing than the professional ranks, because there's more skill set being displayed. Well, needless to say, during that training camp, one of my fighters, Rashad Holloway, was in the camp with Shawn Porter due to the fact that he was supposed to get his career back going, and he was flying out east to be in a fight, and I was going to assist him with that. But what happened is the guy pulled out. Rashad had that happen several times. Rashad is a 6 foot welterweight, and he's a problem. So, God works in mysterious ways. During that time, he decided to go out to Vegas. He was training out there, and what happened is when they got the news that the fight wasn't going down, he was definitely upset. But Kenny Porter went ahead and invited Rashad to be in camp with Shawn Porter. So Rashad was in that camp. He was actually in the ring with him that night, and they won the title, beating Devin Alexander. I understand the likes of a Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter, like I said, he changed identities in the midst of his professional career. He will make adjustments. He will fight. He will train. He trains year round, and that's one thing. He stays humble. He trains year round. I'm not the biggest fan of Shawn Porter, and the reason why I say that is because I would like for him to be more vocal, because I see him suppressing the way he talks. He suppresses what he truly wants to say, and that's fine. You can say what you want to say. Just have tact with it and some class with it, but be vocal, because I feel him biting his tongue. And whenever you're a professional and you're a pit bull, it's okay to be a pit bull. He can do it because his training style lends him to be one of the top fighters, and losing to Kell Brook is a style thing. It's not that he's not better than Kell Brook. He fought the whole night. If it was up to judges who score pressure, regardless if it's effective pressure, just like Pacquiao, it was pressure, but it wasn't effective pressure. Guys could score. They could have given him the fight. He knows how to fight. He will bring what is necessary to bring. But Adrien Broner can box, and I think the fact of the matter is he wants to prove that he is the next reigning king in boxing, which that, with those videos floating around, proved not to be the point. Let me tell you something about people. Whenever you have a circle of friends, you're a reflection of the 5 people that you hang around most, financially and in character. So if you hang around goofballs, you're going to be reflected as a goofball. Chances are you're probably going to be a goofball. So if you want to make it to the pinnacle, you hang around those that are at the pinnacle, or those that surround those at the pinnacle. Because like I said, you are an average of the 5 people that you hang around best. Whether you got the money of those people, depends on who you hang around. If you hang around 5 broke jokers, you'll be the 6th. You know what I'm saying? So take that with a grain of salt. This is important. If Adrien Broner is hanging around groupies, his mentality is going to be groupie, not professional. So when he started doing this PBC thing, his objectivity was to make sure that he came across with a professional-like cachet. But you can't hide that. People have cameras. People have phones. This is social media. You got to live it to beat a guy like Shawn Porter. Now, the intangibles of the fight are very important, and you guys must listen closely. These guys are fighting at a catch weight of 144. Shawn Porter, before I go any further, I went to the dentist today, so I have to make sure that I wet my whistle to keep the pearlies on tight. So, whenever these guys match up, they're matching up at 144. Shawn Porter was no smaller than 165. Growing up, that was his weight. You know, no matter what sport he played. You talking about coming down to 147 is a problem. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. Like I said, I have people that are inside of those circles and understand exactly what these people are going through on a daily basis. He's eating extremely light, training on a consistent basis, and eating light. Look, I have a nutrition degree, all right? And I also have a physiology degree, and I know what this is all about, and I know what this takes. It takes a lot out of you whenever you're doing that, trying to make a weight. Now, the fact of the matter is they going down to 144. This is where it gets sticky. Chad Dawson took a fight with Adrien Ward at 168, and he paid the price. It wasn't Adrien Ward's fault he decided to come in there at 168 instead of 175. He said he could do it. He could do it easy. The difference is you're in a gladiator sport. Yeah, you can walk around at the beach at 168, but you're talking about getting in the ring with the best fighter in the world under Floyd Mayweather. And stylistically, Adrien Ward is a problem in that ring. So I'll break the fight down round by round in the segment that we're going to do the demonstrations. But right now, the intangibles of this fight, you got Shawn Porter, he's stronger. The difference in the strength is Adrien Broner's coming up in weight. And Shawn Porter's coming down, but Adrien Broner was smart enough, and his team was smart enough to bring him down further than he's comfortable. So that's going to play a part in the fight. Plus, Shawn Porter didn't look great in his last fight, but that has nothing to do with this one. Styles. Adrien Broner will use his legs because he knows this prior to the fight. This is not Molina. This is not John Molina by any means. Shawn Porter is coming through the wall with a sledgehammer. Can Adrien Broner withstand that? Can he stand his ground? No, he's going to have to move because he's not that durable. He's going to have to output. He's going to have to stop Shawn from wanting to punch. And that's one of the key things that Floyd Mayweather is the greatest at. So this fight will be the measure of Adrien Broner and where he's going from there. And I will get deeper into the fight breakdown. Like I said on Thursday, you will see that. And it will be thorough. And it will break it down. And it will tell you who's going to win. I won't say it, but you will have all the meat and all the gravy for your mashed potatoes. They call me the Fight Doctor. And I thank you guys for watching. Because right now you're watching Master Boxing. And respectfully, we break the fight world down. Round by round. Be sure to go out to that site. We're going to have that fight posted on the site after the fight. MasterBoxing LLC.com. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Share the post.